My name is Kelsey Merrow, and I'm the founder of PonyUp Rescue Collective. And I have not been rescuing for very long. I've come up with horses my whole life, and it wasn't until November of 2022 that I rescued Sweet Potato from a kill pen in Western New York. Around January of 23, we came up with PonyUp Rescue Collective, and people pooled resources to save a pony named Pearl, who was in extreme neglect case. In the very beginning, sometimes people would literally drive by or walk by and pop in, and I just welcomed them. I started posting online saying, if anybody wants to come by and meet these rescues, I'd love to introduce you. And then we get, phone calls and inquiries, and the answer is always the same. If you're coming with goodwill and you want to be part of this, come on in. We will find a place for you. I started following rescues, kill pens, auctions around the country. We look at the urgency of medical care if it's a crisis, how far away the horse is, and what the cost of that transport is, but also what the physical toll is on the horse for them to travel a long distance. And then we look at their whether they are a long or a short-term project. There's only so many 2- and 3-year-olds I can take that I know I'm going to need to spend a year or 2 years on. That has to be balanced with some older horses who really don't have a place to go and need a soft landing. We identify a horse in need and we fundraise for them. Their bail, their quarantine, their transport. We use the word quarantine to mean that we isolate them for 4 weeks to make sure that they're not carrying any contagious illness that they're going to pass to the rest of the herd. The word bail refers to payment that you make to buy them from the kill buyer. A kill buyer will own a whole bunch of horses that are ultimately in this pipeline heading towards slaughter. When we rescue a horse, they show up here and we address their medical needs and start the rehabilitation process. Some of them are physical rehabs where they are in such terrible shape that it's really just a lot of both TLC and good feed and medical care and hoof care. And some of them are not in bad physical shape, but terrified. On a tangible level, we need to offer them feed and medical care. Friends, they need company, they are herd animals, and freedom, they need space to roam and forage. These animals who've been discarded and they have various forms of trauma, abuse, abandonment. We've rescued 14 horses and ponies. We've rehomed 6 of them. To see their ability to open a new chapter and be trusting and take chances and rediscover joy is such an incredible process. The thing that sets us apart in terms of helping horses is the collective approach. And that is this notion that everybody who participates, whether or not they have a horse background, can be part of the rehabilitation and rescue of these animals.
And it's fun watching the way she takes these horses that are in bad shape and brings them around to where they're safe to be around. And it's just amazing to watch.
Coming up in the horse world, it's impossible not to notice that it is extremely inaccessible to folks who are not wealthy and white. Economics, first and foremost, limit people from access, but it extends to race, it extends to class, and it's unmistakable. We want to especially target underserved populations, survivors of trauma, at-risk youth, people who stand to benefit the most from horses tend to be the people who have the least access. Our mission becomes clear to increase equitable access to horses. And horses have a great deal to offer and benefit from being with those people. So we're just trying to make the connection. We seek out groups that can come to us and spend time with our horses. We have a volunteer base. I'm here as a horse professional, and we have a group called Living Resources, an organization that provides services to intellectually challenged, underserved adults in Columbia and Greene County, also here in Dutchess. The participants in the group vary from being never having seen a horse, being afraid to touch one, to having horse experience. They come twice a week and they groom the horses, they lead them. We talk about body language and reading signals and how a horse's body language can sometimes mirror a person's body language. And for those rescues to be adoptable, they have to be comfortable with groups. They have to be comfortable with different kinds of body language, all different shapes and sizes and experience levels. And for them to be safe, they need to be exposed to all these different situations. I think that when you have horses that have been through trauma, neglect, abandonment, there's a lot that people can relate to. And when you bring in people who have also backgrounds of trauma or neglect, I think they can feel something kindred with the horses.
They're so intuitive, and you can have an entire conversation without any words with them. And I always thought that that was just my impression, but I've found that there are other people who communicate with these animals and make friends and take their troubles away. These guys were terribly abused, and so every day of comfort and security we give them is a wonderful gift, and it gives back to me.
These group participants have the most compassionate manner with the horses. I also think it's very confidence-giving to be able to handle 1,000 or 1,500 pound animal when you don't necessarily have a lot of control in your own life. It can be incredibly reassuring and calming and confidence-giving. To be able to handle yourself in that situation is pretty empowering. The biggest challenge is fundraising. This is a learning experience for me, as it is for all of our volunteers and group participants, as it is for the horses. It's an incredible gift to have all of these people coming together as volunteers and supporters.
I can't think of anything I've done in my life that's more fulfilling and exciting every time I'm here.
Like, this is a community idea and community organization unfolding, and it's not particular to any one person. It feels like a community organization at a time when people are isolated and at a time when we are politically divided. This feels like a safe place where we work together for the common good, where we can bring in as many people who may not have had horse experiences and welcome them and make them feel at home in this world that is traditionally very exclusive.